Recording in progress.
Okay. If you care to join along with our singing, we have a binder right there in front of you, I think, and we also have a hymn book, and that's where the songs will be coming from. The first song that we'll all sing together is "Gather the Spirit," and it's all in alphabetical order in the binder, and then would you get them, Katie? Would you get our guests a bulletin? Oh, okay. They say there right there what's listed. Okay. Good morning. Welcome, fellow shippers. This is March 15th, a very blustery day here in Farmington. We even have a wind warning out, but we're here, except for a couple of our congregants who are elsewhere. Yes. Is Jerry with us? All right. No, Jerry's here too. Glory. And Shay is in Evergreen, Colorado. Jerry's in the hospital here at San Juan Regional. But we're really glad to have her, so via Zoom. Okay, we'll start off with Margaret doing a prelude, "I Asked the Lord," by Johnny Lang and Jimmy Duncan. Kate. Thank you, Margaret. And I don't know if we've just lost our Zoom meeting or what.
You're still here. Oh, we're still there.
You guys are still there. Well, that's great. Yeah, we're having technical difficulties all around. I woke up this morning, and when we got in the car, my little portable concentrator wasn't charged up, so I'm trailing extension cords to make it work. Okay. We have two guests here. Larry and Jeanette, I'm sorry, I forget your last name, Larson. And I'm going to ask them a little later to come up and tell us what the mission is. So we're pleased to have you here. And as I understand from Jerry, you all might do some speaking for us in the future. We would love that. And that's how we run our fellowship. We have every Sunday we have a different speaker. Today we're pleased to have Mark Wolf, one of our favorite guys. And he's talking about Heaven, a New Teaching. But first we'll start off with an opening prayer by Susan. So Susan, even though we can't see you, would you go ahead and give us an opening prayer?
Susan? No, I'm here, but I was...
Okay.
Okay, so let's just assume that everything is going to go smoothly here.
Yes, that's what we're winging a prayer here.
So what I would like is for everyone to take a deep breath and just feel that energy coming up through the crown chakra and down through all of the chakras, energizing us, healing us. Creator, Mother, Father, God, we give thanks for all that we have today, for all that we are experiencing, knowing that everything, whether it seems to be difficult and hard for us, each situation brings us greater strength, greater wisdom, and closer to you. We give thanks for all of our friends, our family. We give thanks for our good health and the abundance of everything in this life that you have given to us. We give thanks today for all of the friends that we have here at Fellowship, knowing that each one goes forth, showing your love, showing your wisdom, your compassion. Each and every day, we become stronger in your ways. And we give thanks for this meeting that comes once a week to enforce and to enliven us to your ways, to help us in every way that you can, to give us the strength to move forward. And so in love and compassion and in openness, we give thanks for this day and all that it offers. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Susan. Okay, next we'll have a song from Margaret here, Gather the Spirit, which is in the binder.
Gather the Spirit, harvest the power. Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion, and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind. Seeds for the sowing are laid in store. nurtured in love, in conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion, and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun. Winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion, and strength. Gather to celebrate once again.
Thank you, Margaret.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now for our reflection moment, which you can follow along in the bulletin. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness. And so it is. And that was written by Midge Jones, who I had the honor to live with for about 6 years before she moved to another place. So now we'll have our spiritual treatment. Kate's going to come up and do that. And we're going to hold in our hearts George Harris, Ron Holloway, Debbie Ward, and many others.
Okay. So we're just going to take a few deep breaths in through the mouth, out through the mouth, in through the mouth, out through the mouth. Sorry. We're going to do 3 deep breaths that way. And then the next 3 breaths that we take, we're going to bring in all of the love and energy. You can even think about a pet that you have, a child. Just put them in your mind and breathe in that energy and let it go out to those people in the community that are open and ready to receive. And we have a special to go to our Jerry, our own Jerry today.
Yes.
So that will be something that we will keep in our hearts as well. So let's take some nice 3 deep breaths. Okay, now these next 3 breaths, think of something you love deeply. Bring in that energy through the top of your head. Inhalation, exhalation, let it go out to those in our community who are in need. Thank you very much.
Spiritual reading, but I don't have the signs on mine. Pardon a pregnant pause here. I volunteered to do the spiritual reading, but I forgot my material. Thank you, Kate. Okay. Okay, today's spiritual reading will come from Science of Mind, and it's for today. And it's See with the Light of Love. The quality of light by which we scrutinize our lives has a direct bearing upon the product which we live. And that's Audre Lorde. All the power of the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act as though it were true. That's from Science of Mind. As the universe is run by an infinite mind, so our life is controlled by our thinking. Ignorance of this keeps us in bondage. Knowledge will free us. And that's Ernest Holmes, again, the Science of Mind. By what quality of light do you scrutinize your life? What a wonderful question. Am I seeing clearly, or is it as though through a glass darkly? What are the ideas that cloud my vision? Remember the lyrics to a wonderful old song by Johnny Nash. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Gonna be a bright, bright, bright sunny day. Each day we have the opportunity to see clearly, see our oneness with Spirit, and know our union with Divine Mind. As we see clearly, using the light that is love, we give ourselves grace, grace to be heard and to unfolding according to our unique process. What we are doing, what if we are doing it perfectly? What if we could see that what God sees? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Look at how amazingly good you are doing just that. And the affirmation is, I see myself in the light of love, and I live in harmony. And I dedicate this to Mother, Father, God. Okay. Next, I'd like to introduce our guests, Larry and Jeanette. Pardon? Okay, well, this is in addition, so I'm adding these two folks in. They're gracing our congregation today, and I'd like them, one or both of them, to come up to the podium and introduce themselves.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm Jeanette Larson, and this is a beautiful worship space. We love all the artwork and expressions of spirituality. I am an ordained Christian Church Disciples of Christ minister, but I'm very, very interfaith minded, so very comfortable in this space. Originally from Washington State, lived many, many years there, but I've lived also all around the country, and we just love hearing about different wisdom traditions and love all the quotes and the prayers, and we even embrace Native American spirituality. So Larry may share more with you now or in April when he's speaking, and then I look forward to sharing more of my faith journey with you when I speak at the end of April.
So I'm Larry Larson, and it is a pleasure to be here. This is a beautiful space, I will agree to. I consider myself a Christian mystic, which a lot of people are really confused of what that means and what that talks about. And so there's a lot of different perspectives around Christian mysticism or mysticism in general. One of my biggest views is embracing all faiths. All the different faiths of the world have something to offer somewhere, some way, somehow. We have more commonality than we do differences in our faiths. So, and yes, I've practiced Native American spirituality. Grandfather Roy Wilson, bless his soul, he's passed on now a little over a year ago. But he taught Sundance Medicine Wheel. He had his own book, and he graced me the honor to teach that book. So I've not been able to do much of that. Other than that, I share it with people from time to time. So.
All right, well, thanks to you both, and thanks for coming up and talking, and we look forward to Larry's talk next month, you say? Cool, that's going to be great. And from what I hear you just saying right now, boy, you fit in with us because we are not, we love all the traditions, and we see that there is no competition between any of them, you know, in spite of what they might believe. However, we have another guest here. We have my new apprentice, Braden, and he's in the back too, so welcome, Braden. We still have no video here in the sanctuary, although it looks like we have video for our Zoom guests. Is that correct?
No,
You have no video either, huh?
no.
Don't we have it on our screen there? It was there when I was there last. Well, anyway, our next thing is we're going to have a song by Margaret.
Can you ask them if they see you now?
Can you see a video now yet?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, at least we're recording a video, so that if anybody wants to, they can tune in and see the video. When I turn it over to Mark, I'll check out the connections and see if we can bring it back here in the sanctuary. Anyway, next we have song 144 out of the book, out of the choir book, Showers of Blessings. Take it away, Margaret.
Now are the showers of blessings sent by the Father of love. Now is the time of expressing bountiful gifts from above. Showers of blessings, showers of blessings in store. Windows of heaven are open, showers of blessings outpour. Now are the showers of blessings meeting our momently need. Now are the riches of heaven healing our hearts of all greed. Showers of blessings, showers of blessings in store. Windows of heaven are open, showers of blessings outpour. Bountiful measure fulfilling, pouring upon us, O Lord. Now are the showers of blessings, promises made by thy word. Showers of blessings, showers of blessings in store. Windows of heaven are open, showers of blessings outpour.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you.
All right, it's the first week of the month, first Sunday of the month. No, it's not. This is the middle of the month. Well, we're graced to have Mark Wolf speaking to us again. He speaks to us twice a month, generally. And today his topic is Heaven, a New Teaching. So I can't tell if you're still there, Mark, but if you are, please take it away.
Oh, is that my cue? Am I there?
Yeah, well, I can't see you, so I have faith you're there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm happy to be here with all of you this morning. And I'm always honored when I'm your guest speaker. You know, listen, over the years that I've been your speaker, I've always tried. I've tried, but I've not always succeeded. But I have tried to present something that I've had some personal experience with. Something that was healing for me, or something that answered a question that I was struggling with, or touched my heart, it elevated my spirits, whatever it was. I felt that if I had no personal connection to the teaching, then I had no business presenting it. Now, this morning may be the exception, as I wanted to talk with you on the subject of heaven. Okay. This is going to be a Bible lesson, all right? And hopefully more than that, but there'll be a lot of Bible references, and so perhaps you'd like to jot down some notes, or listen to this video on YouTube later on, and hopefully share it. Okay, so listen, there are plenty of authors and plenty of speakers who claim to know a lot more about this subject of heaven than I do. And so I did a little search on it, and it came up and says Sylvia Browne and James von Praagh and Chris Lippincott and Richard Sigmund and John Burke, just a few of the authors, just a few of them, and I think I've read most of them. But there are some of you who know more about this subject than I do, and have had personal experience with it and brought that experience back. Well, anyway, come with me anyway. Okay. Come with me anyway. But there's a lot of information that's encoded and it's hidden in the Bible. And this morning we are going to look at it and uncover some of it. Now, this idea for this actually came to me several years ago. You know, as I told you, I tell everybody, my birthday, of course, was last week. And so I remember so clearly. I will always remember how. My brother Wayne, it's now been 4 years, astoundingly 4 years since he passed away. And the last thing that he wanted to do was to wish me a happy birthday. Even at that time when he was barely able to speak any longer, he still wanted to tell me happy birthday. He had very severe osteoporosis, as I've shared with you, and his lungs had inflammation from, I can't say it, asbestosis, titus or something. I don't know, I can't say it, but it's inflammation in the lungs caused from inhaling asbestos. Okay, and but anyway, when I had a phone conversation with him, this has been several years ago, and he'd called me for my birthday. He always did, and all of a sudden he just blurts out and he says, "Tell me about heaven. Tell me about heaven." And I said, "Okay, you first." And so my brother Wayne says, "Well, Jesus promised me a mansion, but I don't need a mansion. But I would like a little bungalow in a green valley where I could grow some tomatoes." I've told you some of this story before. And then after he paused for a moment and he says the Old Testament really doesn't have anything to say about heaven, does it? And I say, well, actually, the Torah, the Old Testament, actually has a very great deal to say about the subject of heaven, but it is not obvious. Most of it is encoded. Because listen, here's the thing. Let me share this with you, because I found this very fascinating. Every time the Torah or the Old Testament, every time it talks about the Sabbath, the Shabbat, the seventh day Shabbat, it's really talking about heaven. It is a hidden and encoded teaching, and it doesn't mean anything till you know the code. Okay. All the laws or the rules and the precepts having to do with the Sabbath, with the Shabbat, these are telling us and describing to us what heaven is going to be like for us. and it's really actually quite exciting. Listen. Exodus chapter 16. It says that travel is restricted on the Sabbath. Okay, it's very, very restricted about how you can travel. And you say, well, okay, well, why? And people say, well, it's because you're supposed to rest on the Sabbath. Said, yes, but here's yeah, right, we understand that, but here's the hidden teaching. The hidden teaching is that in heaven, there will be no travel. Travel is something we experience here. In the higher spiritual world of light, we will no longer experience travel. Okay, now why is that? Because wherever we want to go, listen, wherever we want to go, we're already there. So there's no travel. There's nowhere to travel to. You're already there. I mean, think about it. You think about where you want to go, and there you are. I mean, there's no travel involved. It's this quantum thing. It's a quantum thing because you're here, but I want to be there, and there you are. There's nothing in between. There's just here, and then there's there. Okay? There's no travel. Okay? And that's the first teaching that the Old Testament offers us about this subject of heaven. Okay, now, Exodus chapter 35. Okay, fire. Fire is prohibited on the Sabbath. You cannot light a fire, period. Okay, now, this is so interesting because this means that in heaven, we will not have to prepare food. Okay, well, that's obvious. But listen, two things. We do not have no more than that. We will not have to prepare food, and we will not have to work in order to stay warm and comfortable. I mean, this is exciting. But listen, fire is also a symbol of judgment. In Jewish mysticism, which then the Christian mystics inherited, and in Jewish mysticism, fire is a symbol of judgment. So we know that in heaven there will be no judgment. Okay? And Exodus chapter 16, searching for food. I mean, it's very specific. It's searching for food is prohibited. So let's not say searching for food. That's what they really want to say is shopping. Okay, grocery shopping. Okay, when you bring it, grocery shopping is prohibited on the Sabbath. Okay, why? Well, you're supposed to rest. Okay, we get that part, but what's the mysticism of it? Because in heaven, we will no longer have to work and struggle for food and sustenance. It will all be there for us. This is so exciting. This is amazing. We stop to consider, how much work does it take to get a tomato on your plate at home? Okay, because somebody's got to plow the dirt, they got to plant seeds, and they got to put water on them, and then you have to grow them, and then hope that there's still somebody left who's going to go and pick them, and put them in a truck, and they take them somewhere. I don't know what they do to them, and then they show up here at Kroger, and they unload them, and then they come and put them on the shelf, and they come in while you're working. Okay, so you're working, so you have some money to take to up there, and so you can buy the tomato, and it's exhausting. A tomato. It's exhausting. How much work does it take to put a tomato on the plate? And in heaven, we're not going to do that anymore. Okay, that's over. All right. So this just gets better. Isaiah. Okay, Isaiah chapter 58. The Sabbath is also described as a delight. The word is just I love words. The word here is oneg. Okay, oneg. The Sabbath is oneg. It is a delight. And so from this we can be certain that whatever it is we experience in heaven, and it possibly be for a while different for every person, but what we are going to experience there is delight. This is the bottom line, is delight. Everything in the Torah, the Torah, everything that talks about the Sabbath is really telling us what heaven is going to be like. Okay, for example, here's another example. Okay, Torah describes 6 days in which to work. Okay, and it goes on about this over and over and over. 6 days. Okay, and it goes on to say, well, that's because in this world of work on earth, 6 separate days represent that everything here appears to be disconnected. Okay, and that's what work is. Work is connecting stuff. It's connecting people with people, or buyers with sellers, or people who need something with people who have something, and putting parts together with parts, and putting people back together when they're sick or they're frightened. And 6 days, 6 separate days. And listen, in Hebrew, those 6 days have names. Actually, they just have numbers. Yom Echad, Yom Bet, Yom Gimel, Yom Dalet, Yom Hay, Yom Vav, and Shabbat. Okay, there's 6 numbered days, and then there's Shabbat. It's entirely separate. So you got 6 separate days to put separate stuff together, but one day, there's your secret. Your secret, okay? You got one day in which to rest. What does it teach us? It teaches us that in heaven, everything is already connected. There are no connections to be made. All the connections have already been made, and they're all perfect. And the connections that we need in order for heaven to be a delight for us, okay, those connections are already made. Already made. And the people, listen, talk about connections. Talk about the people we had to say goodbye to, okay, the pets that we loved us, but we had to say goodbye anyway. And the people who are going to say goodbye to us, okay, no one will be lost. No one will be lost. No one left behind. So I'm having this conversation on the phone with my brother like 4 years ago, and so he says, but some people are going to burn forever, aren't they? And I said, no, of course not. Psalm 136, his kindness endures forever. Ki olam chazdo, his kindness endures forever. The King James Version translates this word as mercy, but the Hebrew word is chesed, and it means kindness. Kindness endures forever. Not burning, not anger, not separation, but kindness. And so anyway, so my brother says, but this guy on the internet, and I'm thinking, oh no. This guy on the internet says that he had a vision, that he died for 10 minutes. He's dead for 10 minutes, and he saw a vision, and there's all these people, they burn him. Okay? Well, if it's on the internet, it must be true, right? And I said, well, listen, my teacher in the Kabbalah, taught us that, yes, there is a place of judgment, and that judgment is symbolized by fire, because fire is a type of judgment. There is a place. And people who have been so utterly cruel and selfish and hurtful on earth, and there's no other way to cleanse this. There is no other way. So bottom line, they will experience fire in a dimension called Gehinnom. All right? But it will not be forever, because nothing lasts forever except kindness. And so perhaps maybe the guy on the internet, and he's dead for 10 minutes, he saw people who are being judged harshly. And okay, so he saw that, but it's not going to be forever. And I said, people will appear before the Creator. And if they appear before the Creator with selfish stains or unfulfilled desire, okay, some of them may actually choose to experience the dimension of the Gehinnom for a period of time. But the more ordinary choice is to return to earth. Okay. Most of them will return to earth to experience another opportunity to grow and to love and to give, to share and to forgive. And we read about this, and it's a very strange passage. When I finally understood what this was about, it was so amazing because this passage is crazy. Okay, it's just crazy. Deuteronomy chapter 25. All right. It says, the law states that if a man dies, but he and his wife have no children, then the deceased man's brother must marry the widow and give her a child. Now listen, when people start to compile the top 10 things in the Bible that utterly make no sense, this makes the top 10. Okay. Now, I'm sure that it loses out to the talking snake, but at least I'm sure it's in the top 5. Now, what is this about? Listen, it's talking about reincarnation. Okay. It is a hidden teaching about reincarnation. This strange law of the Talmud is called levirate marriage. It exists, as I have explained to you at other times, it exists in order to give the deceased man's soul a vehicle or a bloodline in which to reincarnate. Okay, and make sure that he has a vehicle in which to come back and finish the life that he started. And when you think about it in that context, it's a very lovely and sweet thing, and it is. And actually, this is the only content. Oh, all right, wait a minute. Try again. This is the only context in which it makes any sense at all. Okay. And so, I said to my brother, well, think about the millions of people who died during World War II. And think about the young men in the prime of their lives, young men who never had a chance to marry their sweethearts, young men who never had a chance to meet their newborn children, young men who never had the chance to live their lives when their lives were ended in their prime. So what happened then after, actually immediately after the war? It was the baby boom. Okay, boomer here, all right? All right. And Scott McKenzie sang about it in 1967. He says, all across the nation, such a strange vibration. There's a whole generation with a new explanation. People in motion. And so some of the souls who were lost in World War II would return, okay, and not just the young soldiers, but the millions of people whose lives were ended. And some of those souls were going to return in order to experience the brutality and the absurdity and the horror of war through Vietnam. Others would return with a passion for ending war and bringing transformation through music and flower power and protest and social change. The baby boom, millions of souls returning to finish their lives and finish their missions from the killing fields of World War II. Now, wait a minute. Okay. Now, the last book of the Bible, the book of the Revelation, the New Testament, it has some more hidden information about this subject called heaven, and it just gets more fascinating as we go along because this information is very deeply hidden But once you kind of stand to the side and you see it sideways, you're never going to unsee it. Now, the material, this material from the book of Revelation may seem kind of obvious, but it hides a great spiritual teaching. Now, listen, that is a general rule in the Bible and in spiritual writings in general. The more obvious something appears, the more it's hiding. Okay, so here we go. We look at Revelation chapter 21. And people think of the book of the Revelation just weird mishmash. I don't know, and I get it. I understand that, but there's some gems here. Chapter 21, the foundation of the city of the New Jerusalem is described as being built from 12 layers of gemstones. Now, the Jewish audience would have immediately understood that was a reference to Exodus chapter 28, because this is the 12 gemstones that are mentioned as the 12 gemstones that adorn the breastplate of the high priest of Israel. The 12 gemstones on the breastplate of the high priest formed a vessel in which to contain the love and the spiritual elevation and light of high priest's heart. This high priest was supposed to be the most spiritually elevated or spiritually developed person in Israel. And so then this vessel of his love, the gemstones being a vessel for that love, then that's elevated to become the foundation of the New Jerusalem. Listen, here it is. It will be built on love. Whose love? It will be ours. It will be our love. The foundation of the heavenly city of Jerusalem will be built upon our love, because we are the builders. We are the builders. We are the builders of the heavenly city. And when we choose to love, to have compassion for the pain of others, and we choose to go out of our way when it's not easy, and we choose to help someone. We choose to share when we have so little, and we're literally building the foundation of the heavenly city of the New Jerusalem. And there's more. The gates, listen, we all know about the gates of pearl. Well, the pearly gates and all this whole thing. But listen, there's an astounding teaching that is hidden here. It is a hidden spiritual teaching, and it's amazing and exciting. Listen, okay, the pearly gates. Leviticus chapter 11. I told you this was going to be a Bible lesson. So look at Leviticus chapter 11, the oyster. Okay, which is where pearls come from, right? The oyster is forbidden to be eaten. Okay, it is a forbidden food. Okay, and oysters are called an abomination, and to eat them is prohibited. And whatever comes from an unclean animal is also unclean. So how then could the gates of the heavenly city be made of pearls when oysters make pearls, and oysters are an unclean animal? Therefore, the pearls should be unclean. That's just, But listen, here's the secret. It's about transformation. That's the secret. It's transformation. Let's think about how the oyster makes that pearl. We know these things. It is a grain of sand, an incredibly common grain of sand becomes embedded in the oyster, and so in order to get rid of that irritation, the only thing the oyster head can do is just to surround that with, like, I don't know, whatever it is, oyster gum, and turn it into this beautiful pearl. The ordinary sand is transformed into a gemstone. And when you and I we look into ourselves. We look into ourselves, we do the work, we look into ourselves, we look into our consciousness, and we find negativity. Okay, well, I don't think I'd find it. Yes, you will. If you're on the earth, you will find some negativity. Yes, you are. Now, anger and fear and selfishness and resentment and jealousy and unhealed issues and this whole thing about, well, I'm a victim. You know, we're going to find that if you look for it. But with prayer and forgiveness and acts of sharing, we transform the negativity into a triumph of love, a victory of kindness. And we are literally building the gate of pearl because we are the builders. Listen, God built this world. We are building the next one. Okay. And then, kind of in the same sort of a vein, Revelation chapter 21, it says the streets of this new Jerusalem, streets are made of gold. Oh, we have the pearly gates and the streets paved with gold. This whole thing, we have this image of it, very literal, and it's easy to get a mental image of the streets paved with gold. There's probably a song written about it. But in the mysticism of the Kabbalah that the Christian mystics inherited, gold has a negative energy attached to it. Okay, it is said that this negative energy around gold is what can make people crazy. You know, and that's probably not the right word. Probably shouldn't use that word about it. You get what I mean. Because gold kind of just inflames people's greed. Because I want it all for me. It's mine. No, we'll take it. You know, and the selfishness and the greed. And gold kind of just presses that button for people. So how then, here's the question, how could the streets of the heavenly city be paved with gold when gold has a negative spiritual attribute attached to it? Because listen, when we look into ourselves, you knew that was coming. We look into ourselves and we examine our conscience and we judge our hearts. We judge our hearts and we find greed and we find selfishness and we don't want to share. Because it's mine. We want to share. And we don't want to help because it's too inconvenient. We don't want to give because, well, they're just going to misuse it. And it's not convenient. We'll do it later. Or maybe somebody else will take care of it. I don't know. I don't really care. I go home. And we find the negativity. We find the negativity. We say no. Okay? Say no. And with prayer and with acts of sharing and giving, we transform that selfishness into sharing and the fear into certainty. And we transform the greed into being greedy for God's light. All right? And we make the transformation and we make that, we are literally paving the streets of heaven. That is so exciting to me. The streets are paved with gold. What that means is that our selfish ego will be subdued. We will walk upon it. It will be under our feet. Now, actually, the verse goes on and describes the gold as being like glass. Well, that don't make any sense. How can gold be like glass? Excuse me, what? Now, once again, let's think of it in terms of transformation. How do you make glass? Okay, people have been making glass for like thousands of years. You take sand, just ordinary sand. You take sand and you melt it. Okay, you get it hot enough, and it melts, and you get glass. Okay, it's ordinary sand. That's our ego, because it's everywhere. Okay, covering up the earth is sand. That is our ego. And sometimes ego says to us, "Oh well, you're nobody." And we believe that, well, I guess I'm not. I'm not very important after all. We believe the words of the serpent. We're still doing it. All right? People say, "Oh yeah, I'm not really that important," and it's partly true. Listen, that's the thing. That's the beauty of it. It's partly true. All right? Our ego is nobody important. It's like sand. It's everywhere. Okay? And in New Mexico at this time, we talk about a wind advisory. We have a wind advisory here. You got a wind advisory in Mexico. You're going to have clouds of sand. Because that sand is everywhere. That's ego. And when we go looking for ego, it's like looking for sand. You go looking for it, and you're going to find it. And listen, this is a very powerful prayer. This right here is an extraordinarily powerful prayer. Please, divine light of the Creator, show me some ego that I can transform. then it will be shown. It will be shown so we can transform it. How can we transform it if we don't know that it's there? You know, but when we do not look, so I'm not looking at that, you know, I'm not looking. When we do not look on our own, then life will show it to us anyway. You know, we may not like what we see. We probably will not. All right? Or our children. Oh, our children will show it to us. I mean, why else do we have children but to show us our ego? I mean, seriously. And life has a way of applying the heat to us to make that ego melt and transform into glass. And the glass will let the light through. The rabbi said, don't build your house on sand. Okay, this is Matthew chapter 7. It said, don't build, in other words, don't build your spiritual journey on ego and the voice and revelation of ego, because the trials of life are going to wash it away sooner or later. Instead, rather transform that negative ego, and we are paving the streets of the heavenly city with gold, because we are the builders. We are actually creating the heavenly city, and we are creating it in our own image and likeness, by the way. And when we transform our anger and our jealousy, our resentment, the resentment and the fear and the selfishness into light, and reveal the love through acts of sharing and helping. In the meantime, listen, this is important. We each have a mental image of what it's going to be like. Okay. When I was 14, I remember I was being with this group of other teenagers listening to a sermon about heaven. Okay, this sermon, I'll always remember, it was given by a retired Pentecostal member, Pentecostal minister. His name was Raymond Dykes. God bless Raymond Dykes. And Mr. Dykes described heaven as an eternal church service. Okay, and we're going to sit on church pews, and we're going to sing hymns and pray and worship Jesus forever in church, in heaven. And some of the boys that were sitting with me, they were horrified. What do you mean? This is an eternal church service, eternity on a church pew, eternally waiting for a church to be over. And guess what? It's not going to be over. It's forever. Because they imagined heaven as an eternal summer where they could play football and throw a football back and forth to each other on a summer day with no homework. That was heaven. And to be eternally trapped in church sounded more like that other place. We're just saying it ain't heaven. All right, and but regardless of how it looks in your mind, I'm going to show you something in the Bible, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Okay, the book of 1 Kings, chapter 6. This has to do with the construction of the first temple in Jerusalem. This temple is known as King Solomon's temple. And in chapter 6, 1 Kings, starting in verse 20, we read about the chamber in which the Ark of the Covenant was kept, and it was a perfect cube. In the mysticism of the Kabbalah, a cube represents a doorway to something extraordinarily higher. That's what the Ark of the Covenant did. It connected the Israelites to something enormously higher, as the Ark inside the cube was a doorway. Now look at Revelation chapter 21. The heavenly city of New Jerusalem, the city that you and I are building and paving with the love that we share. The heavenly city of Jerusalem is a cube. It's a cube. What that means is the heavenly city of the New Jerusalem is not our final destination. It's a bridge. And so whether your idea of heaven is eternal football or growing tomatoes outside the bungalow, be certain that there's a whole lot more. There's a very, very great deal more. And listen. Sometimes we think, say, well, somebody's passed away, and we think, well, they don't need our prayers anymore. Listen, yes, they do. Here's the thing. Spirits get into what they believe heaven is supposed to be. And whether they're throwing a football back and forth or growing tomatoes, hang on, y'all. That was not good. Okay. All right. We'll figure it out in a minute. Anyway. But anyway, spirits get into this thing, and they believe that they're in heaven because they're throwing the football back and forth, or they're growing tomatoes, or they're living in the house of their dreams, or they're doing all these different things. That's not heaven. That's just experiencing these pictures in their head. And so when we pray for people who have passed over, it helps them to get out of those pictures in their heads and move on to what the light is really like, the exciting part. So that's why we do it. But the love that we share is what we're going to take with us. And when we get there, that's what's going to accompany us. And when we arrive, listen, when we arrive, you know who's going to be there? Annie and Bruce. They're going to be waiting for us. What kept y'all so long? And we can finally say, I'm looking forward to this. I want to see the light that used to just radiate and pour off of Annie. And you could feel it, but not necessarily see it. And I want to see it. Okay? And Midge. And she's going to be there. And John and Bob and Marion and so many others. And we're going to say to Midge, sweetie, what happened to your wheelchair? And she's going to laugh. That musical laughter that she had, and she's going to say, oh, they don't allow wheelchairs anymore. No wheelchairs allowed. No cancer allowed. No coronavirus allowed. No tears allowed. So you have to leave them out. They're not allowed anymore. Only love. The love that we share with one another, because God is love and his kindness endures forever. We will grow forever in his kindness. I'm so happy when I get to share with you all this morning. These things, they're exciting to me. And I hope that this information is healing to you as well. What good is this in my practical life? Well, sometimes the things that are most important in our practical lives are just connecting to the lights of others. So anyway, thank you. And wait a minute. Wait for it. Wait for it. Keep waiting. Let's have the drum roll. Steve, back to you.
I have arrived. Thank you, Mark. Are you still there?
I'm right here.
Thank you, Mark. Even though we can't see you, we have faith in that your image is out there on Zoom and maybe on YouTube.
I have my
Thank you
water
so
glass.
much. That was very. I especially like how you ended that with Annie and Bob and all of the people we have pictures of in the back of the church, and especially telling me that it's not going to be a church service forever and ever and ever. I hope I get some fishing in finally, canoeing and with the people I love. So
You can.
thank you, Mark, very much. Okay, now we have Margaret. Oh, wait, we have our, yes, we have Song 101, which is Have Thine Own Way, which is new to me, so, but I will read along and try to join.
Have thine own way, Lord, have thine own way. Thou art the potter, I am the clay. Mold me and make me after thy will, while I am waiting, yielded and still. Have thine own way, Lord, have thine own way. Search me and try me, Master, today. Power, all power, surely is thine. Touch me and heal me, Savior divine. Have thine own way, Lord, have thine own way. Hold o'er my being, absolute sway. Fill me with thy spirit, till all shall see Christ only always living in me.
Thank you, Margaret.
Yeah.
All right, so the next thing is our celebration of abundance, and I'm going to ask Bill if he would. And so, take your offering, we'll hold it over our heart, and say, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive through infinity. I am prosperous. Thank you, sir. So today we have no children. I think that the reason they're out is because their grandmother is out. But we're looking forward to them being around more and more in the springtime. Announcement we have is that the yard sale is set for May 15th and 16th here. And so people may bring items for sale from 4 to 6 p.m. on Thursday, May 14th. Items they may also be brought Friday morning. Please no books or clothes. Okay, and I'd like to announce that after the service today, we are going to have cake and coffee to talk with our new friends here. And so that'll be right after the closing ceremony. And now, my honor to bring Bill up here for our closing thoughts.
Good morning, everyone. One day at a time. Home wasn't built in a day. I think that's a knockoff of something we've heard before. That was a quote from Jane Ace. The dust on the television screen is so thick, we're amazed our family members can even see it. The grass in the backyard is so tall, rabbits can hide in it. And our inbox at work is so full, it is literally tipping over. We can easily be overwhelmed by endless household keeping and professional workloads. We might even have trouble sleeping, wondering how we will ever catch up on our responsibilities. But if we tackle one simple task each time we walk into a room, we can slowly make a dent in the work. more important, we will be able to sleep well that night, knowing that this steady approach will also help us accomplish whatever tomorrow brings. The walkaway quote is, "Instead of racing to finish all tasks, I work calmly and steadily until each one is done." Sometimes I've found it to be helpful to, when you have something in front of you to do, is take a micro action. If you got a really big project, you just keep procrastinating and doing all this other stuff. But if you take one little action on that big project, get you moving forward and going. So you all have a great week, and God bless.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, it reminds me of my day at a time that I've been practicing for about 33 years now, so. Okay, so now, let's see. We're going to do our closing circle with songs. So please join me up front here. Thank you, babe. All right. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in unity, and yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, family all are we. So let us walk with each other in harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for all being here and gracing my Sunday, and I hope that fellowship has helped grace your Sunday. Amen. Amen.
Thank you for being here. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you all for joining us. And Kate, would you please turn off the recording? So I'm going to have cake and coffee. In fact, I just got to carry my plug-in around with me.
Hi, Mark.
Hello, Ron.
How are you, Steve? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We just can't see you.
Ah,
We got a few technical difficulties going here.